Hey, you're listening to the C3 Network Podcast with Dan Holland. Our mission is to create a network of microchurches that are finding, teaching, and equipping people to be on mission. Our hope is that this encourages you. Be sure to leave us a review so you can help us share our message with more people who need to hear it. And now, Dan Holland.
Have you ever tried to run a marathon at a sprint? The first mile feels exhilarating. The second feels impressive. And by the third, reality catches up. Your lungs burn, your legs ache, and suddenly, passion isn't enough. You see, without pacing, even a calling becomes a curse. We admire people who go all in, but the heroes of Scripture weren't just intense. They were ordered. Without rhythm, even the right life eventually falls apart. Welcome back to the Genesis Way. I'm Dan Holland, and today we continue shaping our lives, not by adding more commitments, but by learning the rhythm that God built into creation itself. In the last episode, we gave our lives shape, and today we give them rhythm, because a life with shape but no rhythm will still collapse under its own weight. Genesis doesn't just tell us what God created. See, it shows us how He created. It's very important. There's a cadence to His work. There's a beat, a tempo. He says there was evening and there was morning the first day. And then the second day, then the third. See, God didn't rush. He didn't multitask. He didn't panic. He worked with intentional rhythm, separating, gathering, ordering. And then He gave that pattern to us. The first thing He did to give shape to creation is seen in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 3. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. He created this rhythm, night and day. And since that time, the rhythm has continued. There was light and dark. There was no sun yet, but there was light. And there was a rhythm started. God separates light from darkness, waters above from waters below, land from sea. Separation creates clarity, you see. And then it says he gathers seas into one place, land into another place. Gathering, you see, creates focus. There's this rhythm of night and day, of separation and gathering, working together. Without separation, everything just blends together. Without gathering, nothing matters. Genesis 2 takes it even further whenever it says, by the seventh day, God had finished the work He had been doing. So on the seventh day, He rested. So was God tired? No. Omnipotence doesn't fatigue. God rested to establish a rhythm. For God, rest wasn't necessary for recovery. It signified reign. Rest declares that the work is defined, it's limited, and it's complete. God rested to show mastery over creation, not weakness. Listen, if you don't establish boundaries, life will establish them for you. If you don't rest by design, you'll rest by disaster. Burnout is not a badge of honor. It's evidence of misalignment. In Scripture, Sabbath isn't God stealing time from you. It's actually God returning time to you. It's creating rhythm in life. You weren't created to be exhausted. You were created to be productive and effective. Now, notice the pattern. God forms, God shapes, God fills, God finishes, then God rests. He doesn't carry assignments indefinitely. He doesn't confuse busyness with faithfulness. He finishes what He starts, and then He steps back. You don't rest because you're done always. You rest because it's a healthy rhythm. It's how God designed us to function at the highest level. And if God rested, what makes you think you should be exempt? Isn't it so easy to live without margins? Just saying yes until we suffocate, confusing availability with obedience. It's easy to give every request unrestricted access to your life, and then you wonder why you're feeling exhausted and out of control. Scripture says a person without self-control is like a city without walls. Boundaries don't limit your calling. Boundaries protect your calling. A life without boundaries is a life without blessing. Now, let me ask you a direct question. Where do you need more boundary? Your phone? Your inbox? Your schedule? Your ministry load? Maybe it's your finances? See, the enemy doesn't need to destroy your life. He just needs to distract it. Satan doesn't fear busy Christians at all. He fears focused ones. This is why shaping alone isn't enough. Shape tells you what belongs in your life. Rhythm, it tells you when it belongs. Dump it shows you what to carry. Shape it showed you what matters. Now rhythm decides where it lands in your week. See, if everything can happen anytime, well, nothing has priority. Rhythm reveals what you truly value. And let's make this practical by using the 7 spokes of the Ziegler Wheel of Life that we've talked about in previous episodes. Your spiritual life needs daily rhythm. Family and relationships need weekly anchors, we'll call them. Career needs focused blocks, not constant access. Physical health needs scheduled care. Would you agree with that? Mental growth needs protected space. Social connections need intentional gathering so that they happen. Financial stewardship needs regular review. See, rhythm turns values into visible patterns. I love what Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as though you're working for the Lord. Notice it's not just what you do, but it's how and when you do it. God is honored not only by obedience, but by order. Just identify one rhythm. It's a good place to start for each key area of your life. One daily anchor, maybe one weekly anchor, one protected work block, one rest boundary. And don't start with 10, start with 3 or 4. Small rhythms, faithfully practiced, shape big lives. If you want help designing these rhythms, just click the link in the show notes for the Shape It Part 2 worksheet. Now, don't let your calendar be a confession of confusion. Shape your days. Guard your boundaries. Honor your rest. This is the Genesis way.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this podcast, we post a new episode each week, so be sure to subscribe and leave us a review so you can help share our message. We'll see you next time.